Ladies and gentlemen, rock fans from all around the world, we are Musical People and Journeys. My name is Nigel. My wonderful panel is Chris, is William, is Simon, is Trish, is Ian, and we are here to bring you the latest rock albums, to tell you what we thought of them, to give them a rating out of 5, to find out whether they hit our Hall of Fame or not. And today's exciting episode is Gothminister. There we go. We're gonna get that right. And their album, which is called Pandemonium 2: The Battle for the Underworld. Now, you're wondering who the hell are Gothminister. They are a Norwegian goth metal band formed in 1999. They've released 7 studio albums, gained success in Germany. They've played several German music festivals, including Wave, the Dark Storm Festival, and performed in front of over 10,000 people at the Schazensreich Festival. They took part in Melodi Grand Prix in 2024, the Norwegian selection, and the Norwegian selection for the Eurovision Song Contest with the song We Come Alive. They advanced to the semi-final on 13th of January 24, finishing 4th in the final. We could have seen them, but they were this close, everybody. This close to our favourite show. Anyway, the band's mix of gothic industrial metal music, programming and electronic music, alongside metal guitars and dark lyrical themes. The songs are regularly the use of drop D tuning. So, let's start then with Ian. Ian, what did you think? Because we know you haven't had a great month. What did you think of Gothminister and their dark fantasy power metal?
So this album, again, Norwegian, but absolutely enhanced with the backdrop of Iceland, and that without a shadow of doubt. I'm just going to get my notes up. So apologies for disappearing, but it was a powerful titan of an album. It was a bit too heavy for me. But only in places. I really enjoyed listening to it. I mean, the production was off the scale. It was awesome. The vocals were really clear and highly listenable. There was awesome rhythm guitar work. I mean, like, how often do you notice the rhythm guitar? The idea is that you don't notice the rhythm guitar. It goes everything well. But when it just excels, and especially on One Dark Happy Nation, that was a standout song for me. That was incredible. I also liked We Come Alive. Can only be described as euphoric Ibiza metal. That's the only way I could describe it. It was just, I've never heard a blend like that before. So there's other bands that do that style. I want to know about them. The album has many 1-minute instrumental intros or links. I think I mentioned that about one band before and I got that a bit confused, but this is the instrumental intros or links, which work in some, but some places they just seem very pointless. It just didn't make sense there, but this album definitely Pandemonium 2. I hope there's a 3, 4, 5 and many more to come. Bit too heavy, bit of a pointless links, but everything else was fucking awesome.
Go on, Simon, you've got something to say.
I've done exactly the same as Ian, and I've conflated this with one of the other bands as well. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Well, I was about to give you a positive intro as fucking awesome, but obviously I can't do that now. But what the hell? You are fucking awesome. You are, and let's hear what you've got to say about Pandemonium.
Just go back to a previous review. No, no, the review was fine. It was the instrumental bit as well. I did exactly the same as Ian. Yeah, so this album, it's such a mix of like industrial metal, gothic overtures, this electronic sounds. It's all a bit weird and hard to like truly put my finger on exactly what it is. Not that you need to, but I was really pleasantly surprised by this band. They reminded me a lot of Lord of the Lost, who I've recently kind of really fallen in love with, even though I think Gothminister's been going longer than them. But yeah, so yeah, I've not heard them before, and I'll admit I really am becoming a fan. I really enjoyed the track Tonight. And I'd love to be yelling, "I will drink your blood, I will eat your flesh" at a gig. That'd be so much fun. However, we are here to review albums as well, and the only bits that let me down of the album were the interlude tracks. So the Procession and Aftermath. Which they only sandwich one track as well, so they're quite close together, and especially as they fade to quiet before the next track, they don't even flow into it or anything. And I get it, they're trying to tell a story, it's all about this big battle and so forth, but yeah, it just, to me, that sort of like actually sort of detracts quite a lot from the album for me when you're listening to it. So yeah, I get it, but it doesn't do it for me, that kind of track. But yeah, overall though, their actual music, there's something sort of weirdly sort of like ensnaring about it. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, look forward to listening to them more.
Now, somebody who is weirdly ensnaring, and we don't know why, it's William Hall!
Hello.
Hello.
The least enthralling way to announce myself there. So to start off with, the album cover for this is fantastic. It is really cool, and it does perfectly convey the sound and the theme this album's going to have. Just to get out of the way, there's one thing that stops this album for me from getting the gloried heights of perfection, and just stop with the random instrumental things and intros. They serve no purpose. There is one album I've heard that has a good in the middle track, and it's Sabaton in The Last Stand, because that does serve a purpose. It tells the story before the song. Saying that though, I think this is really cool. That blending of electronic, industrial, and goth is three things I didn't necessarily think I'd say in the same sentence in terms of a genre and an album, but this is it, and it works really well. It's just such a cool, unique sound to it that I've not really heard much before, and I found myself I haven't yet, but wanted to go back and listen to their previous works, because if they're more like this could be a new, favourite to regularly listen to band of mine, because it's really, really cool, very unique style, and really, really solid album, very enjoyable.
Guys, I'll be riding the crest of a wave, because Chris, who also is very enjoyable, let's be honest about it, did he also enjoy this album? Chris?
Well,
I slate
yes,
you. I slate you off. You don't like it. A compliment. You don't like it. I mean, come on. Give him. What can a man do?
I was building to a reveal that I liked the album by saying, well, yes, I did, but you messed it up. So thanks. So yeah, I mean, it's been
Nigel would
said
do
by
something like that, right?
others. I know, right? But yeah, so it's been said by others. The combination here, I've written down electro-industrial rock. I think everything else that people said as well has worked really well for it. It starts off, there's nice symphony to the start of Battle of Underworld, and then it really kicks in. This did intrigue me enough to go back and listen to Pandemonium, which is the first of the. I don't know whether this is going to be a string of albums that they're going to do based on Pandemonium, but this is the second Pandemonium 2, Battle of the Underworld, and I think that's one of the things that we've mentioned, that there's a bit of a to and fro and a change to some of the style between some of the songs. I think that's because this is supposed to be one of those more sort of battle albums where you've got two different forces going at it as part of a war, and so it's just kind of trying to tell those two different stories. And I think that's where those musical interludes are supposed to be a context change between we've been looking at these people, and now we're going to swing over the battlefield to this side, from over here. But I agree to what you guys have said; they kind of don't really work for me. I completely take Will's point about Sabaton, but there was Black Veil Brides did an album where they were absolutely spot on with the transitions between the songs and the tracks. It was I'm struggling to remember the name of it now. It's quite a long album name. So I think it really did work for me. I really enjoyed this, and I think the other thing as well, just there's a real contrast between, you've got the male vocalist, a bit more, a bit rougher, a bit coarser with the sort of the way he's singing it, and then the female vocalist, the counterpoint to it is just beautiful, the way they work together, and it just works really well. So yeah, I did go back and listen to Pandemonium. I will listen to Pandemonium 3 if there is one, and 4, and 5, and 12, and however many more they might have to do, because I really enjoyed it.
Well, it's all pandemonium. It's all pandemonium here. What's going on? Let's find out. Will Trish add to that pandemonium? Let's find out. Trish, Gothminister.
Hey. So, I was pleasantly surprised with the opening track, Battle of the Underworlds. As from the cover, I was expecting thrash heavy metal, but my ears were enlightened to power metal with techno dance sound to it, akin to Sabaton, Static X, Edge of Paradise, music all mashed up together, which I really like. The lead vocals are deep but not growl and work well with the music. They are clear to understand the story being told. Before I knew it, the album was at the end with We Come Alive, so I hit play again as wanted more. I really enjoyed this album very much.
Ooh, yeah, it's bloody brilliant, isn't it? I mean, it's look, I disagree with the intro tracks because I think that it's all about the atmosphere, it's all about the storytelling, and I just think that we're trying to enhance that storytelling with those tracks. Battle of the Underworld, We Come Alive, tonight. I mean, you always have this electro pop version, and yet you're almost going out and slaying and ripping people's skin off. But it's done in such a way that it's not very graphic, and it almost feels like there's like normally with these sorts of albums it's light and dark, and yet it's really two opposed, but dark forces battling for the underworld, and so you don't really know who the heroes are. They're all trying to end there, and then you've got this guy going, he's going out, and he's going to slay everybody tonight, and we come alive, and the witches were burned. The storytelling, I think, is probably one of the best storytelling albums of the year so far in terms of power metal. I think it's absolutely phenomenally good. Spoiled though by the industrial growling metal singing, and I would normally dock a point off the whole album because of that, because I don't enjoy it. I still didn't enjoy it, but I think the context of what it was in meant it was slightly more bearable for me, but I did enjoy it. But his singing throughout it's kind of there, and then the juxta point of her coming in to counter it was brilliant. And yet his voice was never clean right through the album, and yet it felt right and it felt good, and it was only when it went into the industrial singing that it kind of lost it a little bit for me. But I'm only saying that as a little bit. Just a brilliant power metal album, but brilliantly done. I loved it. I absolutely did love it, apart from that industrial grounding singing, which I have to not mark because I got to be fair to every album that I also slate off for that sort of stuff, because it isn't quite my cup of tea. But I've got to be listening to, if I get a chance to listen to number one, and obviously I hope 3, 4 and 5 come out as well. So, will this get into our Hall of Fame? Where will it cite in our top albums of the year so far? Let's find out our scores then. Ian, starting with you, what did you give Gothminister Pandemonium 2?
Really solid 4 out of 5. I would have loved to have given this a 5, but in listening pleasure, it wasn't just that little bit that wasn't there, but what an album.
Simon?
Yeah, another solid 4 from me.
William?
4.5.
Ooh.
Cuddy?
Mine was a 4 as well.
Oh, 4 point something for me. 4.5 from me. And I'm going to finish off with Trish. Trish, reveal your score.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hello. Hi.
Trish, reveal your score.
Oh, sorry. It's the first one of this episode of this month. It's a 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gothminister Pandemonium 2 have hit our Hall of Fame. Okay, not only have they hit our Hall of Fame, they've scored 4.4, and they're currently in joint second on our album of the year so far.
Wow.
There are a joint 15th album of all time. That 4.4 is a really, really, really high score. So congratulations to Gothminister. You've ticked our box, and hope you win the album of the year show, which would be fantastic. Thank you very much. Check out this album, everybody. You'll hopefully you love it as much as we did. And in the meantime, thank you very much to my wonderful panel, to the wonderful Trish, to the amazing Ian, to the glorious Simon, to the effervescent William, and to the magnificent Chris. Thank you all very much for listening. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Goodbye from now.
Bye.
Goodbye, bye.
Well,